Some people think I'm an alien. Not true.
When you are engaged in designing and building rockets, these things that seem perhaps trivial or not that important to the public or the uninitiated are actually incredibly difficult. Getting the domes right on the propellant tanks is one of the most difficult things. It's just a dome. Like, how hard can it be? But it's hard.
I mean, it started out. I actually had one of the very first Twitter accounts, like when it was like less than 10,000 people, and then everyone was tweeting at me like what kind of latte they had at Starbucks, and I'm like, well, this seems like the silliest thing ever. So I deleted my Twitter account, and then someone else took it over and started tweeting in my name. Yeah, and then a couple of friends of mine, Willie and Jason Calcanis, they both said, hey, you should really use Twitter to get your message out, and also somebody's tweeting in your name and they're saying crazy things. So I was like, I'll say crazy things in my name. It is short, in that it's not very steep, because it started off insane. And so if it's still insane, it's, it hasn't changed that much. I think I've said this before. It's like, some people use their hair to express myself. I use Twitter.
I'm very excited about the potential of Starship, and I think it's going to be something that could really have a profound step change effect in humanity's ability to go beyond Earth.
I was trying to figure out when I was a kid, I had like this existential crisis, and I was about 12 years old or something, and I was like, well, what does the world mean? What's it all about? We're living some meaningless existence. And then I made the mistake of reading Nietzsche and Schopenhauer, and I'm like, well, don't do that. Not you need to be a little older, I think. No, actually, lately, these days, I sort of reread it. So I was like, he's not that bad. He's got issues. No question about it. But it's anyway. Like, I don't trust Facebook, obviously, and then Instagram is fine, but it's I think not exactly my style. It's hard to convey a sort of intellectual arguments on Instagram. It's hard on Twitter too, but it's but you can't it's so Instagram is also owned by Facebook, and I was like,
deleted.
Just deleted it. It's like I don't really need to if I need to say something, I only really need to say it on one platform pretty much, and I don't want to spend too much time on social media. So it's just like, if people want to know what I'm saying, then they can just sort of go to Twitter. I'll keep doing that as long as Twitter is good, I suppose, more good than bad. Crypto scammers are really...
Give me any kind of a hint what this is that's coming this year?
Well, I mean, I'd be making it up as I go along, just not unusual for me.
The issue with existing batteries is that they suck, okay? They're really horrible. They look like that. They're expensive, they're unreliable, they're sort of stinky, ugly, bad in every way.
Your service model, if you're talking about the scale that you're discussing here, needs to clearly evolve, right? In order to meet all of this demand for parts and service. What are you going to do there?
Well, I guess we're going to hire a lot of people in service and get lots of parts.
We just have a genetic lifespan. It's kind of like say if you take like a fruit fly and you gave it the best exercise and diet possible and like the perfect life, it's still, maybe it'll live like 4 weeks instead of 3 weeks. With the Model X, we've got a third row seat plus tons of space for baggage. And all the seats fold flat. I mean, you can practically fit a queen-size bed in there.
There will not be a steering wheel. In 20 years, it will be like having a horse.
More dangerous to patent than not to patent. Since our primary competitors are national governments, the enforceability of patents is questionable.
Let's go back to another bet that you made with yourself, I guess. I mean, a kind of crazy bet. You'd made some money from the sale of PayPal. You decided to build a space company. Why on earth would someone do that?
Got that question a lot, that's true. People would say, did you hear the joke about the guy who
who made a small fortune in the space industry, and he, obviously started with a large one is the punchline. And so I tell people, well, I was trying to figure out the fastest way to turn a large fortune into a small one. And they'd look at me like, oh, is he serious? They tried to make a reusable system. They found that they would get some portion of the way and then conclude that success was not one of the possible outcomes. In government programs, of course, the program would still continue for quite some time.
Thanks for the introduction.
Here we are on top of our giant ball of liquid oxygen. They say SpaceX has big balls, and it's true.
S, X, and 3 have the lowest probability of injury of any cars ever tested by the U.S. government.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's pretty funny. It's pretty crazy. Like people still sue us. Like they'll have like some accident at 60 miles an hour where they like twisted an ankle, and they sue. Like they'll be dead in another car. They still sue us. Who fell asleep in the car and he rode over a cyclist, and and that was what encouraged me to get autopilot out as soon as possible. That guy sued us.
He sued you for falling asleep.
Yes, I'm not kidding. He blamed it on the new car smell.
I mean, does that speed it up, or that's the slowed down version?
Earlier in this conversation, we don't want to do business with jerks.
Knowledge I use with my team is like, guys, imagine we had, $6 million in a pallet of cash, and that was, $6 million is falling through the sky, and would we try to catch it? I say we do. I say we give it a shot. Worst case, it ends up at the bottom of the ocean, but maybe we do catch it, and then, hey, $6 million.
Let me know when that pallet of cash is coming back.
Yeah. I mean,
I'd like to give it a shot, too.
It might as well be a pallet of cash.
Hi, I'm Eric Ward. I'm a graduate student in the Systems Design and Management program. And I was reading recently a Japanese construction company, I think it's Obayashi, just announced plans to make a space elevator by, I think, 2050. And I'm wondering if SpaceX has a response.
I say, bravo.
Buy a gasoline car that's not full self-driving. This is like riding a horse and using a flip phone. I'm like, hello. We're not wise. Been attacked in a number of venues. Yeah, it's like one of the presidential candidates, I think, said something. And I think I said something to the effect like Tesla's a loser or something like that. Yeah. Well, true. In retrospect, it seems he was right about the object of that statement, but not the subject.
Model X is now over 2 years late. What went wrong?
Well, I do have an issue with punctuality, I have to admit.
Hi, my name is Rahul Sanad from Los Angeles, and I have a Tesla watch.
We do not make Tesla watches, I should point out.
It's electric. But